This is Future Talk.
Future Talk.
Future Talk with Omnia Saleh and Hani Balkis.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Future Talk right here on Pulse 95. It is me, Hani Balkis, and today is the last Thursday of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, it's December 31st, New Year's Eve. Tomorrow we start 2021. I hope you guys are excited for today's show, and I'm excited for the new year. Hopefully we will have a better year than 2020. Now, we do know that 2020 gave us a wild roller coaster of a year, but I do hope that everyone had a good year in general. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get into what we're talking about today on Future Talk. We're talking about UAE's first crypto library at Abu Dhabi's Technology Innovation Institute. We're also talking about how Apple has pulled an iPhone app from the App Store, which was promoting secret parties during the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, we're talking about Japan and how they're developing a wooden satellites to send into orbit by 2023 to cut down on space junk in outer space. And for our gadget of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Apple AirTags. Now, we do know that Apple has been teasing their AirTags, but now we know that it will be expensive, and we might give you a sneak peek on when it will be released. We're also talking about Apple Wallet and how they have an Apple Wallet's receipt and how they could serve as a first proof of how an individual's vaccine status is good or bad. Ladies and gentlemen, lots to talk about right here on Future Talk, so keep Pulse 95 locked because I'm going to be right back.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a crypto library. Now, we're talking about Abu Dhabi's Technology Innovation Institute. Now, the applied research pillar of the Advanced Technology Research Council has announced that its Cryptography Research Center has built the UAE's first national and sovereign crypto library. Now, that is a big one happening right here in the capital of the UAE, Abu Dhabi. Now, that milestone is set to enable the country to safeguard vital and confidential sources of information. Now, the development does follow a series of rapid announcements at the TLL since the first Advanced Technology Research Council board meeting in August of 2020 this year. Now, the researchers at the Crypto Center, one of the Technology Innovations Institute's initial 7 dedicated research centers, have already released multiple versions of the crypto library and are even working on its seamless integration into the UAE's critical digital infrastructure. Now, currently, it does employ and collaborate with scientists in multiple crucial fields of cryptography, such as post-quantum cryptography, hardware-based cryptography, lightweight, and cryptanalysis, and a lot of things that are related to cryptography, and even to cloud encryption schemes. Among others, it also does offer one of the few global centers that brings together theoretical and applied cryptographers in a research-oriented setting for innovative outcomes. Now, this is a big one, ladies and gentlemen, because it is the first in the UAE. Now, it is a pioneering global research and development center that does focus on applied research and new age technology capabilities. It also has 7 initial dedicated research centers in quantum, autonomous robotics, cryptography, advanced materials, digital security, directed energy, and secure systems. By working with exceptional talent, universities, research institutions, and industry partners from all over the world. And the Institute does connect an intellectual community and does contribute to building a research and development ecosystem in Abu Dhabi and in the UAE. That is amazing to see. Now, Abu Dhabi, we also have seen the first AI university in the region with Mohammed bin Zayed Artificial Intelligence University. I do believe that is the name. And also, ladies and gentlemen, let's go and talk about Apple Wallet and how your receipt could soon serve as first proof of an individual's vaccination status. Now, welcome to the new age, ladies and gentlemen, where you might soon have to flash your Apple Wallet when trying to enter an airport in order to prove that you have been given the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, we know a lot of countries right now and a lot of regulators are regulating the use of the COVID-19 vaccine. Right here in the UAE, we have the Pfizer vaccine that has been regulated. I believe a couple of days ago, the UK has approved for the AstraZeneca vaccine. So thankfully and hopefully soon enough, we're going to get through the COVID-19 pandemic pretty quick. I mean, we're seeing a lot of countries signing off on the vaccine. Now, according to a recent report, This is the reality being faced by residents in Los Angeles, California, where a recent partnership between Apple and wellness app application Healthvana could soon mean that vaccination records will be offered digitally in an attempt and hopefully to kind of incentivize people to actually inoculate themselves, because the virus that causes COVID-19 does require a 2-shot dose. Now, when you have a record of the first shot stored digitally, it could help to ensure that individuals are cleared promptly for their second shot and could even eventually serve as proof that an individual is trying to access a grocery store or even concert venue and he or she has been vaccinated. Now, I do believe in China something similar is working, but not with a vaccination, but more of you have a negative PCR test, and it's kind of the same narrative happening right now with Al Husn app. For example, if you don't have COVID-19, you have a app, the Husn app, and you show it to anyone who asks you whether or not you're positive or negative from COVID-19. And then China is doing the same thing. China is doing the same thing. If you're going through an airport, train station, or whatever it may be, any form of transportation, the first thing that they ask you is, hey, do you have COVID or not? And if you don't, please show us the on the app or paper or whatever that you are negative and your PCR test has came back negative. But now we're going into phase 2 of what we may call no more COVID-19, which would be the vaccination process. Now, when the vaccination process hopefully soon does come out and most of us do get vaccinated, you might have to go into certain areas only if you're vaccinated, and you need to prove that you are vaccinated. An Apple Wallet might be your ticket into crossing around the world. Now, Los Angeles recently did break its own record for both COVID-19 fatalities and hospitalizations, which did leave health officials scrambling to set up vaccine dispersal plan as quickly as humanly possible, which did say the director of vaccine and preventable disease control at the county's Department of Public Health. Now, while we do know that the vaccines will be formally tracked in registries and patients will be given paper tracking cards, health officials did say that they also did see a benefit to giving patients access to their digital records as well, which will have the added benefit of being harder to misplace. So saying this initiative, I believe that it would work amazing. I mean, you have this COVID-19 vaccine on your app that shows you that you are vaccinated. Number one, peace of mind to whoever is getting in contact with you. Now, I'm going to see a lot of people probably going and seeing each other only if they're vaccinated. But I like the integration with Apple, but I do believe that everyone should get vaccinated soon enough. So I want to know your guys' thoughts. 4215 Durat or on our Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. Would you like your vaccination records to be stored on your phone and specifically on Apple Pay? We're going to be taking a short break, but when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Apple AirTags and how they might be a little bit too expensive.
Gadget of the day.
New tech you might want to play with.
Pulse 95.
Ladies and gentlemen, Apple has teased us for quite some time now about their Apple AirTags. Now, we do have some information about them, and I'm going to be giving you everything you need to know about the Apple AirTags, which they're saying might come in 2021. Now, Apple AirTags, we do know that they will be expensive. Well, is this really a surprise? We all know that Apple products are expensive. Now, for those who don't know what Apple AirTags are, well, I'm going to be giving you the rundown on them. Now, Apple AirTags have been in the news for quite a while now. Now, reports in the past have hinted that Apple could launch the Tile-like Bluetooth tracker alongside the iPhone 12, which obviously we didn't get. And when that didn't happen, reports were tipped that a November launch. Now, we're going into 2021 and we still didn't get anything. So all those rumors didn't come to fruition. Now, a new report does shed more light on the upcoming device, but this time around, it is not about a potential launch date, but the price. Now, per a report by a tipster who goes by the name of Apple Leaks Pro, Apple AirTags will be expensive and they are likely to cost more than $50. Now, $50, if you do times it by 3.66, which is the conversion rate from dirhams to dollars, spoke to my accountant, by the way, is going to cost us around 150 dirhams. Now, the tipster did say that the AirTags are expected to cost $49. And the case of these AirTags will cost around $20. So it would take the price of this Bluetooth tracker to around $69, which means that if a person is to get 2 AirTags, they'll spend around $118. Now, in a tweet, he did say that AirTags will be expensive, $49 each, plus $20 for the carrying case, plus the cost to charge them, etc. So, if you want one, you better prepare your wallet. Now, separately, reports have hinted towards the Apple AirTag arriving around 2021. Reports have also hinted that the new iOS 14.3 beta does feature one support for the AirTag, and there's a section called Hawkeye that is hidden in the code of Apple's Find My app, which is said to feature a support for AirTags and similar third-party trackers. Now, as far as the specifications are concerned, the AirTags are said to work on a U1 ultra-wideband chip and feature improved Bluetooth connectivity. Now, for those who don't know what an Apple AirTag is, or you didn't understand so far what they do, so let's say basically you're a person who loses their stuff a little bit too much. Well, Apple has came out and said, hey, listen, we'll give you a tag that costs $50, which is pretty expensive, and say, put it in your bag, put it as a keychain on your keys, put it in your wallet if you lose your wallet a lot. And all you got to do is when you lose your item, is to open up the Find My app, which is on every iPhone. It is standard. And you open it and you'll find it. I do believe that even a sound will pop up when you hit the Find My AirTag or find whatever device you are looking for. Same thing that goes with the Apple Watch. I can find my phone if I lost it or I misplaced it just with my Apple Watch. I'll hit it, ping, I'll hit a ping, and it'll come out as a noise, which will tell me where my Apple iPhone is. So having this is pretty good, but I just don't think that a $50 price tag is appropriate for this type of technology. And we're talking about $50 each. That is other than the charging case. So we're talking about $79 or $70, $69. Pretty expensive. I would not buy it for that price. There's a lot of things on the market that give the same features, which are a lot cheaper and probably have bundle packs as well. Let me know your guys' thoughts, 4215 or on our Instagram at Pulse95Radio. Would you buy an Apple AirTag? And if so, why? What do you lose ever so often that you need to keep track of all the time? If I had to put an AirTag on anything, that would be my phone, believe it or not, even though I can find my phone with my watch. But I lose my phone a lot, which is weird because I always have my phone with me. So text in your answers, 4215. Taking a short break, but when we come back, we're not done because Apple has removed an app from the App Store, which was promoting secret parties. And we do know that parties are a no-no during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Pulse 95.
Apps all around.
What's worth a click and download?
What's worth a click and download? Now, this isn't worth a click or a download, and it's not even on the App Store anymore, and I'm going to tell you why. Well, Apple has pulled an iPhone app which was promoting secret parties during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, we do know that we need to social distance and kind of reduce kind of socialization in general, and a party is a big no-no. And an iOS app called Vibe Together that promoted private parties during the COVID-19 pandemic has been removed from the Apple App Store and had its account on TikTok even banned and scrubbed most of its online presence. Now, the app's creators did say that Apple was the one to take it off the App Store. Now, obviously, we are still in the COVID-19 pandemic, and we do know that we need to social distance, wear our masks, reduce going to gathering, but these people right here were creating secret parties and even created an app to promote it, which is a big no-no. Now, Vibe Together billed itself on TikTok and its website as a place to organize and attend underground parties using the tagline, "Get your rebel on, get your party on." Now, organizers would have to approve everyone who wanted to attend, and those who got approved would receive the address 2 hours before the event. Now, most of these gatherings would have been illegal under current U.S. pandemic restrictions, which may even explain why. The app did require you to submit a profile for approval before you were allowed in. Now, these people were doing a whole underground heist. They were doing a whole situation. It's crazy what they were doing. Now, I'm looking at the app right now, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, I don't have the app on my phone, but I'm looking at screenshots of the app. It looks pretty built. It looks well built, and it looks they used a lot of effort to build this app. Now, Calling a phone number on Vibe Together's website did connect us with someone who identified themselves as Albin, one of the app's co-founders, and they did say that the app had a few thousand users and that a few thousand additional applicants had requested access to it since the company did start putting videos on TikTok. Now again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this once, I'm going to say this twice. TikTok is the biggest marketing tool right now. If you are a marketer, if you want to get your product across, if you want to be well known, the place to be is TikTok. Their algorithm is out of this world. They just cater it so good. Now, applying involved submitting your Instagram handle and uploading pictures of you partying to the service, presumably to make sure that you weren't someone who was going to spill the beans about the event. Obviously, they didn't want anyone to snitch on the event, so if you were to attend, you had to post pictures. So if you did snitch, they'd say, well, hey, Hani was at the event too. Now, Vibe Together did have a low profile before it did get well known, although it was mentioned in at least the Eventbrite invitation to a New York party in September, and it did receive wider exposure after a New York Times reporter, Taylor Lornes, did officially tweet screenshots of the website and even described it as an app for finding and promoting COVID unsafe large indoor house parties. Now, a lot of people were getting the midst of the app, and a lot of people were getting to know what the app was. Now, Vibe Together did remove its frequently asked page, which acknowledged the danger of the pandemic, but it did say the app was designed to promote small gatherings rather than big parties. Now, small gatherings of people from different households can still spread the coronavirus, obviously, which can create a chain of infection that does extend far beyond the original event, which does put people who didn't attend the party at risk. Now, a spokesperson did deny that the app was intended to promote unsafe behavior, and Vibe Together was a minimum viable product which was designed to help other people organize small get-togethers in parks or apartments during COVID-19. Now, the spokesperson also did mention that we never hosted any large parties during COVID, but no, they never hosted any large parties, and we did make one over-the-top marketing video to kind of but it did leave a wrong impression about their intentions, which has been taken down since they do not condone large unsafe parties during a pandemic. Now, obviously, Apple was quick to remove it from the App Store after they did get hints or they were snitched on. Now, it is unknown whether the app does contribute to people holding unsafe events, although it did promote gatherings every weekend, including an upcoming New Year's Eve party in a TikTok video. Now, the Vibe Together app did have only 25 ratings before being removed, and its Instagram page did have under 1,000 followers. Now, TikTok did say that the account on that platform had only 139 followers, but when it was removed. But the app does appear to have launched previously under the name Junkies. Now, a name mentioned on its now largely empty Instagram page. Now, obviously, we're saying that this action was not condoned, and the authorities on Apple did take control of that situation, and we're saying TikTok removing their Instagram account or banning their Instagram account, because obviously we can't have gatherings during the COVID-19 pandemic, ladies and gentlemen, because obviously, number one, it can be transmissible and people can get sick, and if you do go to the party and then you go to work and unfortunately you have COVID-19, you could spread it to people who did not attend the event, and people will get sick and people might even pass away and because of complications from COVID-19. So it's a big no-no to go to any type of large event, especially parties, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm glad that TikTok and Apple did tackle the situation pretty quickly, and I hope this type of behavior will not be continued. Let me know your guys' thoughts, 4215 Durat Salat, or on our Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. What do you think about Vibe Together's Instagram or the Vibe Together app? Would you have downloaded it just to see whether or not there's a party near you? We're taking a short break, but ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we're talking about Japan and how they are developing wooden satellites to send into orbit by 2023 to cut down on space junk and space debris.
Check this out. Check this out. Oh, 95.
Ladies and gentlemen, check this out. We're talking about Japan and how they're developing wooden satellites to send into orbit by 2023. to cut down on space junk. Now, we do know that there's a lot of satellites orbiting around Earth and orbiting in space that are no longer in use. And obviously, satellites are made out of metal and other things that I don't know the name of. So having space debris is becoming a big problem. And actually, we did talk to a lot of experts about this ordeal on our SoundCloud. So you can go to SoundCloud Future Talk 95, where we do talk to a lot of experts about it. But Japan is going to tackle this problem with wooden satellites. Now, Kyoto University is teaming up with a Japanese forestry company to develop wooden satellites to shoot into orbit by 2023 in an effort to cut down on space junk. Now, a university professor and Japanese astronaut did say that the advantage of a wooden satellite is that if it were to fall out of orbit and burn up on re-entry, it would not release as many harmful particles as metal satellites, which is obvious. Obviously, when you burn wood, it just disappears. Now, a lot of people are very concerned with the fact that all the satellites which re-enter the Earth's atmosphere burn and create tiny aluminum particles which will float in the upper atmosphere for many years. Now, it will eventually affect the environment of Mother Earth. Now, Kyoto University does plan to experiment with how well different types of wood do withstand extreme conditions on Earth, which do aim to develop a wood that could take wild fluctuations in temperature and sunlight. Now, space junk and debris are growing concerns among experts. Now, the director of the Center for Space Standards and Innovation did say that space debris is increasingly of concern, and the collision of two massive space debris objects ranging from 1 to 10 metric tons, so that is a lot of weight, do pose the greatest environmental risk. Now, it does estimate that there are about 760,000 objects larger than a centimeter in orbit. Now, that's a lot of items. Now, the number is even increasing, especially as commercial companies launch their own constellations of satellites. Now, we do know that Elon Musk's SpaceX has launched almost 900 Starlink high-speed internet satellites, with plans to eventually launch 12,000 to 42,000 satellites. And Amazon is also leading a similar project called Project Kuiper. It did win approval from the Federal Communications Commission in July to launch 3,236 satellites. So we're looking at a lot of satellites going into orbit. That's number one. And number two, we already have 760,000 objects floating in space, and that is causing space debris and space junk. Now, obviously, there is a big global warming problem we do have on Mother Earth already. So, unfortunately, we're seeing that we haven't learned from Mother Earth, and we are doing the same thing in space, which is a big problem. 4215 or on our Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. Did you know that there's something called space junk and space debris? Because I didn't know until recently, until we brought an expert to tell us all about that. But if you want to listen to that podcast, you can go to Future Talk 95 on SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. But ladies and gentlemen, today is the last Thursday of 2020. It is December 31st. One more day, or 9 hours. I think it's 9 hours, just 8 hours until we enter 2021, a new year. And a lot of people are excited for the new year. And I'm excited for the new year. I mean, hopefully, inshallah, 2021 will be better than 2020. Now, 2020 did have a lot of speed bumps, but me personally, I did enjoy 2020. In the beginning, it was something amazing. Towards the middle, it was a little bit rough, but towards the end, alhamdulillah, we can see that life is going back to normal, whether it's the COVID-19 pandemic or anything else. Now, I do believe that 2020 was a year that had to be done. I mean, a lot of people did go through a lot of hardship during 2020, but I personally grew during 2020. I want to know what happened to you guys during 2020. Tell me what happened, or what did you learn from 2020? 4215 or on our Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. And I just want to have a little point. I want to bring a little point to light. Obviously, 2021, we're going into 2021 now. A lot of people do think that COVID-19 expires on January 1st of 2021. But again, COVID-19 pandemic is alive and well. We need to stay safe and take our precautionary and preventive measures that the UAE government has given us, because we do need to stay safe. And again, we are responsible. Each and every one of us is responsible, and we do need to take care of ourselves and our loved ones. Ladies and gentlemen, It's been an amazing year presenting this show. And unfortunately, Omnia Saleh is not here right now. She will be back Sunday on the new year. And I just love every one of you guys, everyone who listens and tunes in. And inshallah, 2021 will be a year to remember. I want you guys to stay safe. And inshallah, you will have a great New Year's. Happy New Year's, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll see you next year on Future Talk.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.